Hello and welcome to the show. I am here today on automation, going to be building a rather crazy vehicle. I haven't played this game for a while. I kind of had a browse through the workshop and I found a body for a smart car. So naturally I want to go and make a ridiculous V8 powered smart car. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to head to the sandbox mode, and with the smallest of the vehicles, there we go. Our smart car. I'm going to try and make as powerful a smart car as I possibly can. Now, one thing that I am going to do, because I'm actually going to remember it this time, make the wheel arches huge. I believe, if I've remembered, can we... Okay, apparently we've got an info box up there for now. We'll come back to that. Hopefully that'll go. Yes, I always forget to extend the wheel arches. I believe if you have wider wheel arches, you can get wider tyres. I know it's going to look silly, but for a V8 smart car, I think you're probably going to want all of the control that you can get. So we're going to take it. Yeah, I'm also going to try and make this kind of as large as I possibly can to give it a hope of fitting as big an engine as I can in. Of course, the engine is going, or the engine size is going to be the limiting factor here in this vehicle because the body is rather tiny. The body's not particularly big, so we have to be very careful with the engine size. It's simply not going to fit if it's too larger an engine. Sure, we'll go. I won't go kind of like full on crazy carbon fiber. I'll try and make it vaguely affordable. Engine position is a big part as well. I can't decide whether we want front or well, there's no real option for rear engine, so it's going to be mid-engined. The actual smart car had rear engine, I believe, so we might find a little bit more space having it back there. Let's go mid-trans. Has any car had a mid-transverse mounted engine? Might be a little awkward trying to get the power to the rear wheels. The engine's going to be at a bit of an awkward angle, possibly. We will see. I think that's probably going to be my best bet for having as bigger an engine as possible. Sort of in there, maybe. Maybe longer. We'll see. We'll see how large an engine we can get. Sure, we'll go with fiberglass, bugger it. Right, on to the fixtures. What are we going to want in terms of lights? I mean, we could have kind of lights up. No. Kind of looks like a bit like the bubble cars. Oh, God, what one is it? Is it the BMW? They had a bubble car. It does. Now I'm kind of quite like. It looks kind of silly, but in a strangely cute way. I think I might have to keep it. I think we're going to have to keep the bubble car lights. Okay, they're staying on the front. Yes, I like them. What on earth? What's that? There could well be new bits on here that I don't remember seeing. It has been a fair while. We've kind of got. Sure, apparently they're brakes or no, they're tail lights. Sorry. What I'm thinking I might go for is if we were to go for sort of one of these circle ones, yes, and then we have a smaller kind of indicator. Because trying to figure out what to do with the back of essentially a box car like this, I can never quite decide. Because I never quite like having the curvier tail lights that we have around here. Like they just don't fit it really very well. If you have them, admittedly I'd have them higher up and so on, but yeah, don't particularly like them. So I might go for that sort of a styling on the car. Sure, you know, it'll do. And our next big question is grills and cooling. Cooling is going to be a very important part of this vehicle. Now I wonder if we have. Yes, it is. Okay, right. I did have a very brief play around, and I have had sort of problems with cooling before. Of course, having a mid-engine vehicle, having sort of the grills and so on at the front are not particularly effective. So you see that back one there, put 180 on it. If we stick one on here, you know, it's not really doing very much at all to help with the cooling of the engine. I could go full Tesla and just leave it blank, but then it looks really odd. I don't like the Teslas without. It just looks so strange. You know the scene in The Matrix when Neo goes to make a phone call and the agents or whatever kind of glue his mouth together? That's what the Teslas look like to me. They look far too eerie. Oh, shall we have a big happy? We shall have a happy smart car. There we go. He's really, really happy about having a stupendous... Okay, no, maybe we'll have to have that grill a little bit lower. There we go. We have a happy smart car. Fantastic. What we might do as well is put some vents I'm not sure how much cooling we're going to be needing on this car. It's going to have a fairly beefy engine when I get round to that part, so I don't really like that vent. Maybe we could have some more vents around the back area. About sort of... Oh, I don't really want to kind of double... Actually, that could work. That could work. I could deal with that. Kind of... I can't think of the car that it reminds me of now, but we might have to... Yeah, we might have them on the lower part of the boot. And can we get anything more in the way of vents around? We probably want vents as aside from grills. Sorry, I can speak honestly. I don't really like them there. We may have to have them though. It may become important to have some grills. I wonder if we would have sort of grills low down. Oh, that could work. That gives us a fairly substantial boost in cooling without having it look too absurd. It's going to look absurd. We're putting a V8 engine in a smart car, and I'm designing it, and I'm terrible at designing cars, so it's going to look absurd, but yeah, that can do. 361 so far, 361.5 so far. We'll see if we need to put any more when we come back to it. It's not going to have the largest of engines, so I think we'll probably be all right. It's a car designed by me. We must have an almighty wing. Is this going to be the largest of the wings? Yes, it is! Look at that! Because this is such a silly vehicle, we will have an almighty wing on our smart car. Yes. Yes, I want that there. Handles. Ah, yes, we'll get some door handles. They're kind of a helpful thing. Which ones do we want to go for? Nothing massively fancy. Doesn't really... not that I particularly like them. They're kind of very, very cheap handles. Looking at them. Sure, we'll go for slightly more elaborate door handles on our crazy, crazy smart car. Right, that will do. Oh, I was going to normally put an indicator on the side of the car. There we go. Yep, that'll do. Just kind of chucking them about, and yeah, it'll work. Oh, shall we have a big bonnet scoop? Yeah, okay. Well, oh, wait, hold on. Now it's got a nose and everything. It does absolutely bugger all to cooling. No, okay, I can't quite go that far. Exhaust, yes, let us give it some exhaust. That would be useful. Can we have the exhausts? Okay, we can just about squeeze them in there. Okay, there's a little bit of clipping going on with the bodywork, but that's fine. In fact, actually, we could just stick them in there. I don't think that, despite the fact I've now covered up some of that vent, I don't think it affects the cooling. So, you know, it'll do. And badges to finish it off. I tend to go for this one. So we shall have this as our sort of company badge. Oh, wait, I've got to press the tick, don't I, on there first, and then we can have another one on the front. Right, a very, very happy smart car. It kind of looks like something you would expect to see in cars. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this. We just need the eyes on the windscreen, and then we're sorted, really. Right, that's the... It's such a silly vehicle. I love it, though. Okay. We are now going on to... yes, we're going on to colour, naturally. We've got to be as orange as we can get it. I think that's shiny or matte. We'll just kind of leave it about in the middle. Do we want to make it all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive? I think we shall make it rear-wheel drive. Make it the twitchiest bugger imaginable. Yep. This is going to be so undrivable by the time I have finished with it. Engine time! We are going to go for a V8. I don't think we could, even if we wanted to, get a V12 into the vehicle. Let's see if we can get the tiniest V12. No, the tiniest V12 is not going to fit anyway. So we're going to have to go on to a V8. Now, this is where it's going to be a little bit fiddly, trying to get the proportions right. Okay. Right, we may have to go back and change. I have had a little play around with the with this kind of vehicle, so I know we can potentially get about a 1.4 litre engine if it is front mounted. Mid mounted does not work in this car. Worth a try, but yeah, not going to work. So we're going to want front longitudinal. I think is probably going to be our best bet. That's going to mess up all of our cooling now, isn't it? Arse. How much cooling do we then have on the vehicle? Grills. We may then end up have to have like another one up here somewhere if we are... oh no, I think we probably might be... Actually, I don't mind that grill on the front. total, that's added another 180 cooling. Of course, because that one down there is going to add a huge amount. Yeah, that'll do. We'll come back if I need it. We can add that there. I'm not too disliking that grill on the bonnet though, so we might have to use that. Right, now becomes the game of trying to get the engine, trying to get as big an engine as we can while fitting in the vehicle. Right, so that is about our limit. Okay, that is literally our limit. 1,417 cc is what we are going to get in the smart car. Sure, we'll take it. Piddly V8. But we are hoping to get as much power out of this one as we can. Fingers crossed. It should be a fairly impressive performance figures. That's kind of what we're going for. Sure, let's go for some forged steel. I basically want everything with high RPMs. I could go for sort of the ridiculous ones. We're going to try and keep it vaguely sensible, because we're going to have relatively high RPMs, but we're not quite going to have the same ridiculously powerful engines. You know, we're not going to have like 3,000 horsepower in this one. Not that I could build a 3,000 horsepower engine anyway, I suspect, but never mind. What style do we want? I quite like this one. Can we go find a nice orange? Yeah, that'll do. Proper FailRace engine. We'll come back to like compression and cam profile and so on once we have finished. We may as well put the twin turbos on the car. They do fit, so we will go. Yeah, they still stay. I mean, they're close. The arrows are quite useful here for measuring. We've got plenty of space height-wise. It's width and length that are the issues. We are just about within them. When it goes yellow, it means you're quite close to the limit. We will go again. Might as well go for injector and throttle per cylinder, etc. We'll go for race stuff, and we'll run it on super fuel because we're going to have pretty much a racing engine almost stuffed in this vehicle. I wonder. Okay, let's just up the RPM limit. Let's see what we can get. Let's go for 8,500. Sure. The exhaust now, we'll go for dual exhaust. Sure, we'll go for a bypass thing. I don't think we'll have to worry about 1,000 horsepower. Not out of this one. Sure, we'll just go like that with the exhaust. Not too worried about things like noise and so on with this. It's going to be a bonkers car. So it's just a case of slap it all on and see how it goes. Right, let's just run this first test. 211 horsepower from the kind of basic stuff is not too bad, actually. I was expecting it to be a lot less, needs a lot more tinkering. Okay, sure, we can work it. Material cost is just under $2,000 for the engine. I don't think that's too bad at all. Now, though, it is a case of tinker around with these things and see how much power we can get. 290, that's more like it. 300 plus horsepower. It is going to all come in a lump. That graph is shocking. It's just all going to come a lump at the very end of the rev range. I like it, though. Right, we need to fiddle around with the turbos. There we go. That's kind of got them a little... Of course, we are a little bit restricted to what we can do on the turbos because it should be the size of them. So we can go a little bit more on the boost, but we're probably not going to get much more than about 360-ish before we start wearing the turbos. Can we rev it any higher without it going kabang? 9,000 is probably pushing it a little bit. We can get 8,800 as the RPM limit. That's pretty damn high revving, let's face it. That is pretty damn good going. Let's go and give it a little bit of richer fuel mix. Okay, we can. There we go, 388 at ignition timing. Can we get... Oh, we can get over 400. 411 horsepower smart car. If we weren't... Okay, no, that is literally 8,900 is pretty much where it hits the peak of its power. So, sure, we're going to... This is going to be the most undrivable thing imaginable because there is just nothing in the way of power up until at 4,000 RPM. There's 55 horsepower, but then you get to sort of 6,000, then suddenly it shoot. This is going to be utterly undrivable. It's the mega turbo lag on this thing, but we will take it. That's not going to help, is it? Yeah, I can't make them any larger than that. If we were okay, no, we've got to keep that at that. How do we make the turbos a little happier? I kind of don't want stuff. We could get up to... We could get a full... Oh, wait, that's too much. 452 horsepower, but we would cause issues for compressor. Is that one? Yeah, we would cause issues for these. I just simply can't make them big enough, I don't think, for it to work. So we'll have it a little bit in the yellow. It's not coming up as a warning thing. So there we go. 411. 411 horsepower smart car. Fantastic. What a bonkers machine this one is going to be. Oh, I forgot we can play around with it in the test mode. So we can fire it up. Unfortunately, I don't know if you can see like this. Well, you're in the test mode, you already can kind of see this, but I don't know. It'd be kind of cool if you could have like layers, so you could put kind of more of the engine together and so on if you wanted to, because we kind of got bits of turbo spinning without the rest of it. So it's pretty neat though, and if you want to go crazy with the revs, you can go and have some fun with it, and then it will bang its way around as well when you let off the kind of throttle. Yeah, there is so little power down here. There's just nothing. 80. I'm assuming that's 80 horsepower. At 5,000 RPM, and then suddenly all of it kicks in. This is not going to be an accessible car in any way, shape, or form, but I like it. Right, let's move on. Let's see what we can do with the rest of our vehicle. It's stupid. I love it. Manual. Yes, we guess we could go for a sequential gearbox, but no, let's keep it with should we go for a 6-speed manual gearbox? Sure. Top speed. We're not going to get 200 miles an hour. I doubt it. We're not going to have the power. I wouldn't have thought, all the aerodynamics. Looking at, it's not exactly it's not the worst shape, no, but it's not exactly great either. So let's give it. We'll see if we can get 100. Estimated top speed is 166 miles an hour. So perhaps we can. We'll go for that. That works for me. We'll leave the spacing alone. Differentials. We're probably going to want. Yeah, we're probably going to want a limited. I don't think we're going to want an open diff on this car. You will just spin one wheel. You'll hit like 6,000 RPM, and then just one wheel will spin the entire way. So we're going with that. Can I get huge tyres? Okay, I can get bigger tyres. That works for me. 265. Look at. 265s on the front and 255s on the rear. I quite like the bigger tyres on the back, I'll be honest with this, with this sort of monster. So, sure, if we go... Okay, no, we can't. How big wheels can we get? Okay, we can't quite get sort of donk level of wheels on the car. Oh, that's tyre. Okay, right, that's tyre diameter, so you can change the sort of sideboard of the tyre if you want. Those are my favourite rims on the vehicles on here. I'm not a massive fan of the rest of these. It's about the only ones that I like. I'm sure there are plenty of rim options on the Steam Workshop to download and play around if that is something you're interested in. Let's go sports compound tyres. We're not quite going to go for the semi-slicks. They're basically... Why are semi-slicks low? I would have thought semi-slicks would have made the drivability slightly higher in that you're going to have a huge amount of grip. It's not going to be good in the rain, but maybe just say add sportiness. Never mind. We'll go with sports road compound tyres, though. Shall we go for some... let's go for some magnesium wheels, bugger it. While we're there, okay, we're going to want some good brakes. We're going to want some good brakes. Again, I'm not quite going to go for the ridiculously expensive ones. We'll try and keep it vaguely affordable. We are going to want... oh, wait, hold on. Better... Okay, maybe not... yeah, actually, we're going to want that. And we're going to want that, definitely. We're going to want as much kind of race stuff when it comes to the braking on this thing as we possibly can get, because it's going to go very quickly and terrify the crap out of everyone. What do we have? Under tray, sure, we'll go semi-clad. Let's not have active wings or cooling things. No, we'll keep it terrifyingly simple on that front. I don't quite know what difference like brake airflow makes in all of this. I haven't never really seen it make a huge difference. Well, this is sort of siphoning off some of the cooling to help cool the brakes. So sure, let's go for that. I think we've got plenty of cooling going to the engine, which is good. Seats, we can only have 2 of them in here. Shall we go for some... We'll go for some sports seats. We'll go for some standard stuff in here. Probably going to want power steering. Probably going to want anti-lock brakes. I mean, I would have a switch to turn traction control off, because there could be much... To be fair, it'd probably be much twitchy fun. You know, like the smart cars with the Hayabusa engines that you see around? That's kind of what this is, only this has got quite a bit... How much power do the Hayabusa engines have? They're about 300? Something like that. This has got more power than them, and it comes at stupid revs, so... Yeah, sure. We'll have traction controllers, but I would like to point out we would want to switch so you could turn it off and do epic donuts. And we will have probably should have advanced safety because it's inevitably going to end up in a ditch at some point. We should probably put that on as well for people that don't want to have a twitchy death machine. Right, not going to bother with launch control though. Suspension. Let's have some active sport. Sure. We'll go with that stuff on there. We'll set it out. Again, we'll set it out for sport. It's not quite going to be full-on race car. Because, yeah, I haven't quite got ridiculous with that everything carbon fibre in here. See how much this is all going to come out as. Apparently our drivability is 9.4. I don't know what that's out of. Is it out of 10? I'd be surprised. If it's out of 100, that probably sounds about right. I think it is out of 100, actually, judging by the rest of these. Safety. Safety is like its highest rated. Oh, no, wait. Reliability is its highest. That doesn't sound right. It's going to be a reliable death machine. That is what this is going to be. Total cost 10,787. I mean, that's not bad, really. 8.4 miles to the gallon. Yeah, okay, I mean, that is a little bit bad. What a monster this thing is. That's some of the information. Weight, 1,042. I kind of expect it to be a little bit lighter. I'm sure, again, you could have a faff around with it to get it lighter than that, more carbon fibre and so on, but it will increase the cost. 10,000. I don't think 10,000 is too bad for what it is. Let's take it to the test track. Let's see some figures on this. It will do top speed 158 miles an hour in your spot. I imagine that would be quite scary with such a tiny wheelbase at 158. Yeah, that would be interesting. 0 to 60, 5.6 seconds. It's yeah, probably most of that 5.6 seconds as well is waiting for it to get into its power band, really. And yeah, there's some other figures on here as well that I'm not sure what some of them. Braking seems fairly decent, 62 to 0. I don't know how that. I haven't got anything to compare it to, unfortunately. So yeah, it does quarter of a mile, 13.14 seconds. It does it at 120 miles an hour though. I think that's for a smart car. I think that is fairly respectable. Shall we take it to the Top Gear test track? Let's see how the V8 smart car fares around here. Yeah, as far as silly vehicles go, it's probably the stupidest thing I've built on here. With yeah, kind of this much power in such a tiny wheelbase. Like I'd love to have the smart car back in Forza 6. It's just such a ridiculous vehicle, and when you put this kind of level of power in such a short wheelbase, it will be horrendously twitchy, I would imagine. And the way the power is delivered is a bit awkward. So yeah, I should probably have found a list of Top Gear lap times before sending it around here, just to kind of see how this thing roughly compares to all of it. See how fast it gets to. Unfortunately, the dial that we have on there is showing kilometers an hour as opposed to miles an hour, which it is everywhere else, which is a little bit of a shame. So we can't quite see what speed it was going through the follow through. Definitely going to, I know, flat out. Oh no, they had a lift. Weren't quite brave enough to go flat out through the second part, and then trying to get it slowed down for that second to last corner. And try not to roll it towards the line, please. That's normally what happens with my cars, and I imagine this one would roll over very easily. But there we go. It is across the line in a 120.8. I think that's fairly respectable for Top Gear. That's not too shabby for a smart car, really. Yeah, there we go. There is some new sections of automation. It's kind of they started bringing in the manufacturing and kind of the almost like the career modes or bits and pieces now with the manufacturing and design teams, etc. We're not going to quite go into that for this particular video. It was just about building the craziest smart car imaginable with a 400 horsepower V8 engine, a 1.4 litre with 400 horsepower, crazy turbo lag, I would imagine crazy twitchy and barely drivable. I kind of want to have a go with this car. If only we could import the vehicles from this onto like Forza 6. That would be much fun. But Yeah, I do kind of want to have a go driving this car. It would be stupendously difficult, I would imagine. But that's what happens when you give me a smart car to play around with. I find a way of putting a V8 engine into it. However, that is it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.